At first glance, this RV looked like it would scare away any buyer. But there is one thing that can make an RV look much worse than it actually is, and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. Hi everybody, it's Deb from Deb's RV Services, and welcome to today's video. I did an inspection on a 2008 Newmar Mountain Aire, and I was hired by a client that wanted me to go out and see if this RV had good bones. Now, it was at a private party's residence, and then I found out that it was actually a technician that was selling it. So I thought, oh, well, if a technician is selling it, then it's going to have everything it needs. It's going to be all ready and hooked up for me, and I should be good to go to do this inspection. But boy, was I wrong. Even technicians, they are still like other owners, and they don't have everything ready to go when I show up for an inspection. So right away I noticed that there were some electrical problems going on. The refrigerator was beeping and saying that there was a 12-volt DC problem. So right away I grabbed my multimeter and I went over and tested the batteries, and sure enough, they were dead. So the batteries were at 11.9, and when that happens, there's going to be a lot of issues pertaining to low 12 volt. Things do not want to work right when your batteries are low. So we had this thing plugged in, and I was hoping that it would increase its charge and maybe get some more battery life to it. But later on, when I wanted to test out that the converter worked properly, I was getting the same reading. It didn't increase at all. So then I questioned that the converter was not working, and then the owner being a tech, he went and decided to troubleshoot. I said, okay, I'm going to continue with my inspection. You troubleshoot and let me know what you find. The converter did work properly. It's just that a breaker had popped. So he reset the breaker, and then it was working properly, but the batteries never held a charge. So the low battery just stayed a low battery. It was really completely dead. So it really caused a lot of problems during the inspection, because when you have a battery that doesn't have power, anything that's related to 12 volt can appear wonky or not working correctly. So I carried on with the other parts of my inspection. I went on the roof like I always do at first, and I was taking a look around, and there were definitely some sealant issues that needed to be repaired. But one other thing I noticed, and this can happen, is that I saw some bees coming out of the rear air conditioner shroud. And that kind of made me think maybe there's a nest in there. So I wanted to make a note of it so that I could tell this owner that, you know, you might want to take off that shroud and clean out that nest before you sell it. But the other thing that happened is when I went on the interior, the actual air conditioner wouldn't cool. So there's a whole issue with that air conditioner, and it could or could not be related to the bee's nest. But it's something that you want to pay attention to, and you want to, as a preventative maintenance, you want to get your air conditioners clean once a year. And if you're up there, the person doing the actual cleaning, you want to be careful that there's not a nest, because you could get stung. So seeing the bees coming in and out told me that there was a nest in there, but also it's something that you want to have looked at, you want to have cleaned out, because it can definitely cause problems with airflow. So other things with the exterior, when I was climbing down the ladder, I did notice that the rungs on the ladder, they needed to be resealed. They were cracking. There's some other cracks in sealant that I could see from the roof, looking down on windows, on trim rails where they meet the slide. I could see some gaps in sealant. So those things all need to be repaired, but you can get a really good look at the top of windows when you're up on that roof looking down, and that's where I do the inspection of those windows on the sidewall. But when I actually went around to the front windshield window, I noticed that there was a crack there. I also noticed that the tech, so let me just give you a little bit of a background. This tech was selling it for somebody that he knows personally. It was a good friend. So he wasn't really making money. He wasn't making any money off of this RV. He was actually just selling it for them, but he was doing all the work and said that he would do any of the repairs for the RV. And he already had done some things, like he sealed a corner where he thought that it wasn't, there could be water intrusion. So it didn't look pretty, but it was sealed. And then also along the driver's side window, it wasn't sitting flush, and I didn't like that, but it had been sealed. So I just made a note of that, and my guess is that at some point this window may have leaked, and it really should have been taken out and then put back in properly so it sat flush, but instead it was just sealed to death so that it wouldn't leak at all anymore. So I still make a note of that. It's just something that doesn't look normal. There were also some burned out cargo lights, which doesn't surprise me on an older unit like that. And also when I opened up the engine door, it would not stay up, so that needed to be repaired. When I looked at the tires, they were all dated 2021. So you know that it is recommended to replace the tires every 5 years or so. I know there's some people out there that will say you don't need to do that with these bigger tires, but this is how I was taught in school. If you want to have it further investigated by a tire specialist, you're more than welcome to, and you can always do what you want. But I always tell my clients if the tires are 5 years old, that they're going to need to look at having them replaced. Before hiring an inspector, you may want to go check out an RV by yourself. That's why I created the DIY inspection workbook. It gives you beautiful color photos and step-by-step guide on how to inspect all the systems of the RV. Now, I further created some separate ebooks that are thin books that are lower in price point that go into individual advanced training. If you don't know how to use a multimeter, I've created a Multimeter 101 ebook that gives you all the details on how to set the multimeter, how to test batteries, how to test fuses, how to test the most common things in an RV. And this ebook is going to be in the same place that my DIY inspection workbook is. It's over on my Stan store, and I will link the description in the bottom. Go check it out if you're interested. So on the interior of this motorhome, let's go ahead and start at the chassis section. So I always turn on the chassis, I listen to the engine, and I check for engine lights. Well, this one happened to have an engine light that came on. I also noticed that the dash air conditioner did not work, so that needs to be looked at. And those can sometimes be bigger deals. It can be a big deal, it cannot be a big deal. Sometimes if the chassis battery is low, it can also have an engine light that comes on. So these are things that always need to be further investigated by a chassis mechanic. And again, you guys, I am not an auto mechanic, so all I can do is take pictures of the things that I notice and write them down. But I really think that all of you that are getting inspections, even though we might look at components like the steering components underneath, we're looking at chassis stuff, we are noting down if we see any signs of leaking or anything. I highly recommend getting a chassis inspection separate from an RV inspection. The chassis inspections don't typically cost as much money. You're going to have a mechanic that specializes in whatever kind of chassis you have, and I think for like a couple $100, whatever their hourly rate is, they're going to go through and they're going to check those steering components for you. They're going to check to make sure that the transmission's good, the engine's good, all those things. Because even though we are trained to look and see if there is some kind of leaking, if I see a big rusted out hole underneath, I'm going to take a picture of it and note it. I still am not the professional that you want to fix or diagnose a chassis problem. I will take pictures and tell you that yes, there is an engine light on, but this needs to be further investigated. I don't know what it's related to. Okay, so just so you know, RV inspectors, they can listen for noises. We start the engine if we hear certain noises, but we don't even get to drive these things. We are not insured to drive them. But you can have us sit as a passenger while the owner drives it, and that's an option. Again, I will listen for noises that I might hear, but I don't know everything there is to know about every single kind of chassis out there and every noise. I know my car makes certain noises, and I'm used to my car noises, but I don't have the ear to tell you if the bearings are bad. These people that do auto mechanic work, they are specialized in that. They do it all day long. They know the sounds. That's why when I have a problem with my car, I take it in. So just so you understand the difference, regardless of what kind of motorhome you're looking at, you should always have a chassis inspection prior to picking up any RV, any motorhome. Now, if it's brand new, you probably don't need to worry about that. But if it's used, please get a chassis inspection. So again, the refrigerator didn't come to temperature, but it was beeping that there was a 12-volt DC issue, so it wouldn't run. And so I don't know if we had new batteries and that error message went away, if we would have a good working fridge or not. So I wasn't able to test it. The inverter was not able to get tested either, because you are going to use up all the battery power with an inverter. And an inverter won't even start when the battery is that low. They have an automatic switch that shuts off, and it usually will alert you that it's low battery and it can no longer work the inverter. So without those things being able to get tested, it does take away from the inspection, where you really truly don't know if things work or not. So there were a couple other things, like a window that didn't open and a shade that was broken. But all in all, like the fit and finish looked good. I mean, Newmars are well made. They have solid wood. All the cabinets look good. The flooring looked good. There was a busted counter in the bedroom. The owner well, actually the person selling it, he wasn't the true owner, but he was the person selling it, the technician, said that he accidentally broke that counter. But he really, you guys, he was really nice, and he was willing to go through and fix anything. He had no problem with it, and he was a really cool guy to talk to and get to know in the area. And I know he has people bringing in their RV to his personal shop that's on his home property, and he does repairs all the time in the Colorado area. So really cool guy. I didn't feel like he was non-trustworthy. I believe that he really was going to go through and repair the things that he said he was going to repair. But all in all, what do you think of this motorhome? If the battery had been replaced and fully charged upon my arrival, and those things were able to get tested and they worked correctly, like the inverter and the refrigerator, what about the other things? You know, the rear AC didn't work and it needed to be fixed. And then you also had that the chassis engine light was on and that the air conditioner didn't work. If the tech said he was going to go through and repair all these things, would you have purchased this motorhome? I mean, my buyer was really just looking to get something that had good bones. Technically, it had good bones. It just needed things repaired, because appliances and all that are separate from bones. You're always going to have to update your appliances. You're always going to have to update your batteries. You're always going to have to update your sealant. I didn't see any signs of water intrusion or any prior leaks or anything that said, warning, warning, this thing is a rotted mess. So would this have been a good enough deal for you if the price was right? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.